What's going on, guys? This is the Fullstack bro, and in today's video I'm going to tell you the things that I've learned in my 10 years of experience of being a developer. Now, let me just give you a little background about me personally. So I started as a developer back in 2009. I learned everything that I know now: HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and some back-end languages, right, through from high school. And I was very fortunate to be able to go to a high school where it offered this opportunity. There was a computer science shop that I signed up for, and all 4 years I had to learn computer science. And at first I wanted to be a computer technician. That's what I wanted to do ultimately. I wasn't able to get into that because it was full. But then, with computer science, I was like, am I going to just learn about the hardware? What exactly am I going to learn that's going to be beneficial to me? We learned, like I said, HTML, CSS, JavaScript, building websites from scratch, managing databases. We did C++ programming, which was definitely depending on what kind of problems we had to solve and programs that we had to build. Once I started college, I wanted to do something with it. So I applied to become like a web designer for like a small business. And I got in there. I managed 3 websites for them. I worked mostly part-time and I could set my own hours. And then the company itself wasn't doing too great. So then I had to find another job, and I became a web developer for another small company. And this company, you get what you get. I learned as much as I could there, but ultimately I knew I couldn't stay there for long because there was a lot of turnover. So after that job, I moved over into a data security company where I managed websites, I managed servers, making sure that everything was up to date and running. At the same time, I wanted to learn software development, and I jumped over into becoming a software developer by becoming a QA engineer first, which doesn't make any sense, right? You're already a developer. Why are you doing QA? Well, my thought was I needed to learn the ins and outs of software development, the life cycle, right? Agile sprints, how we create tickets for different features and bugs. How do we communicate with developers and product managers? This set me up for success, and then I became a software developer for building a web app, mostly on the front end, and then I dabbled into some of the back end using C#. So I have a ton of experience, and currently right now I'm a senior full stack developer that works for a good team, and we all collaborate together, we all build things together, and it's been great. Like, I've been getting a lot of exposure to do different things, and it's been a great journey. So I just wanted to give you guys what I've learned first and foremost as a developer. And if you're on your journey, what's going to help you get to that next level? Okay, so the first thing that I learned is communication is very important. When it comes to building out features or different projects that you're going to be working on, you have to have that communication. There's no way you could just look at the requirements of what you need to build and think that's exactly what's going to be done and that's it. You have to look at the requirements and break them down into smaller pieces, because it could be way too complex for you to understand. So if it's something that is super complex, always ask questions. Don't just sit there and think, oh, okay, this is exactly what it's going to be, because there's going to be more questions of how this is working versus how to solve that problem. So ask questions, question the requirements. If there's something that's on your mind, bring it up. Don't just sit there and just do a job, right? That's going to help you become better with solving problems and understanding different edge cases or business cases that weren't necessarily in the requirements, but it's something that you thought of and you brought it up, and it was like, hey, this might be a potential issue if we don't address it, or this might be a missed requirement based off of the tech planning initiative. So if you communicate that with your product manager, your stakeholders, and the team that you're working with, that's going to help you become better, and it's going to give you a peace of mind so that you're not rushing to get something out the door. You're going to actually spend your time doing the right thing as opposed to just piecing something together and it's like, here you go. So if you really care about becoming better, definitely communication is key. Don't stay in your own box. Don't just do your job. Second thing that I learned too is, don't be afraid of challenges. Challenges are here to help you build a foundation. This help you to become better. It's for growth. Doing easy bugs, fix this button click or change this color or fix this link is not going to help you grow. These are easy things that junior developers do. If you're a junior developer right now watching this video and you want to jump into a senior developer, you have to solve complex problems and do hard projects. What you could do is break down that project. So based off of the requirements that you see in the project, and it's broke down into multiple stories, you could break that story down into subtasks to get the job done. This is going to help you understand the requirements better and also keep yourself accountable to getting it done and actually not having that imposter syndrome that you can't finish the project in its entirety. You do have the means to do it. It just takes time. This takes time to understand exactly what you need to build and be passionate about it. Understand exactly what you need to write and what requirements makes the most sense and what is the hardest requirement. Because if you take care of the hardest requirement first, everything else that's easy is gonna just fall in line. And then actually, if you do the hardest requirement first, you're gonna learn more about the project and find issues with the initial requirements that you could then raise to your product manager. This is gonna help tremendously. So don't be afraid of that challenge. To get better, you have to be challenged in some way. You cannot just sit here and just work on easy bugs. If you're looking to level up in your career, you have to always strive to do the hardest projects and take it with stride that you are gonna finish that project. And you're an expert at it. So if you have that imposter syndrome, just know that this is normal for everybody. It's just the way that you dig yourself out of that hole and solve problems. The third thing that I've learned is always focus on one thing. Don't multitask. Okay? I can tell you right now, I used to multitask on multiple projects, and this is because I didn't necessarily feel comfortable working on a hard project, and I will push it off and work on the easier ones. And this will just extend the life of that project. If there's a project that needs to get done, focus on that. If there's any small bugs that come up that you could wait on, or if you get instructions that you need to solve it now, take care of it. But you need to make sure you get back on track. If you don't get back on track, this is gonna lead to issues, okay? So do not multitask. Focus on one thing at a time. And what you could do, what I do today personally, is for whatever I'm doing for the week, I will create notes. And in these notes, I have the tickets that I'm going to be working on and breaking those down into smaller pieces and make sure that I hit every single requirement in that note and then check it off. Once I do that, like, I know I'm good. This keeps me accountable for the week of what I need to do. And I'm actually more productive because I'm focusing on one thing and not multitasking. So make sure that you always focus on one thing and that is important and you get it done. The fourth thing is it's okay to not know everything. In this field, you're going to be continuously learning different things. Instead of focusing on one language, you're going to be focused on multiple languages. That doesn't necessarily mean that you need to be an expert at it, but you could have like 2 or 3 languages that you're really good at, and then the other ones you have in your back pocket. And this is going to make you well-rounded. This is going to open more opportunities for you in this field. So just know that in order to get better, you have to learn different things. You have to pivot. So if the company that you're working for is pivoting to another language that you need just for the project itself, you then need to transition into learning that language. And if everybody's on the same page, you could piggyback off that. You could communicate and collaborate with each other. This is going to help you learn more effectively and retain that information as opposed to just like reading the documentation and then half-assing applying it, right? So if it's something that you really need to learn, obviously learn it. If it's something that excites you, that you want to do, learn that as well. Like carve out time, like an hour to learn the language that you really care about. And if it's something that you want to add to your a project on the side, do that. But don't just sit here and just learn one thing and just be a subject matter expert at that one thing. When it comes to being a developer, you're going to learn different languages and you're going to have your core 3 languages and the other ones will be in your back pocket, like I said. And then the last thing is, don't overwork yourself. This is a major lesson that I had to learn the hard way. The last gig that I had, I used to put in 12-hour nights because I was the only one that was managing everything that's web related. That's a lot to have on someone's shoulders. If something was to go wrong, who was the person that they called? It was me. Not having help definitely was the cause for overworking and doing, not sticking to like a 9-to-5 schedule. But also not having the ability to manage my time was a major factor in this. So if you're able to manage your time to, like I said, focus on one thing that's important, this is going to help you tremendously. And this is going to give you more time for yourself to do other things besides work. Like, it's not about work at the end of the day. If there's something that you're really passionate about, that you want to pursue, then, there's going to be days that you're going to be pulling 12 hours just because you enjoy the work. But it comes a time where it's going to get too much. So if there's a problem that I'm stuck on and it takes me more than 4 hours to solve, I'll take a beat, I'll take a break, and I either focus on something else in my life, right? Like, I'll go to the gym, I'll run some errands, I'll do something that's not work related. And I notice that whenever I go back to that problem, if it's really stuck in my brain, now I have a better way of solving it. Like, I'm not stuck in that loop, that infinite loop where you're trying to solve the problem, but you're not getting anywhere. You're just not getting to that conclusion. So taking your mind off it and just doing something else definitely helps. But don't overwork yourself. Don't sit there and just stare at a computer all day and just write code and think that you're going to be solving a problem. When, say, for example, if you've been working on one particular problem and you're still on that problem after 12 hours, that's an issue. It's a waste of time. So if you're stuck on something for more than an hour, I would reach out for help. If you're in your deep work and you have your 4-hour time span where you're just working on stuff, that's another thing that you have to look into. Always take breaks, always look at exactly what needs to be done, and don't overwork yourself. That's it, guys. That's the video. If you like this video, please like, share, subscribe. Let me know if these lessons that I've shared with you today has helped you in any way. And if there's something that I've missed, if you're a senior developer and you've been working in the field for a long time, I really want to hear from you guys in the comments, okay? Talk soon.